So many of my viewers had been asking for me to give them a little tour of Singapore, and right now is early in the morning, and as you can see, Singapore is still waking up. It's very green, very lush. So this is one of those residential areas near my place, and this is the place I could go for a morning walk. So as you can see, it's like little pockets of houses and condominiums, and all the dogs are out. Morning! All the dogs are out. For my viewers in the States, if you've never been to Asia, don't forget to stop by Singapore. Relatively one of the safest places in the world. If you're interested, I'm sure there's a lot of really good travel videos about Singapore, but that's not my forte, so I would bore you if I would be the tourist guide. Nevertheless, here's a little walk with me in Singapore. We have a very good transportation system, super efficient. Probably one of the best transportation system again in the world. If you're wondering why we don't have a massive traffic in Singapore, as you can see, this is supposed to be already the beginning of rush hour. Although I'm not in the highway, but still, you can see that relatively open, and that's simply because of a very high cost of fees that you have to pay to own a car in Singapore. So it's first, the value of a car is ×3, and secondly, apart from that, you have to pay COE, and that would cost a bomb as well. So if you're looking at getting a car in Singapore, you want to think twice about that. So this is the, I would say, the more lush area of Singapore. Even though there's a lot of residential high-rise condominium, you can still see that Singapore is still relatively green, and it really helps cool down the temperature. So this is the walk. Okay, I'm gonna quickly show you the bus stop. They're very organized here. Buses here are pretty organized, the bus system. So as you can see, just to give you a little look, you can see there's the bus stop. People are going to work, people are going to school. Beautiful day. Still quite early though, so we are still, it's still quite not so bright. you go. So this is Singapore, guys. I know I have a lot of viewers from all parts of the world, including the Philippines as well. There's plenty of Filipinos in here. I think you guys know that by now. You might even have relatives or family members who lives here or work here. Another bus stop. Extremely organized, extremely comfortable. Again, one of the best transportation system. There you go. We still have all these green bikes around. So how it works is you basically scan the QR code. And once you scan the QR code, you get to take this bike to a certain location to take you from one point to another. Some of them take it from one bus stop or one train station, and then you can just park it anywhere within the regulated area, I suppose. So now it's getting busy, as you can see. Okay, so now we're gonna try to go to the park, or we are going to the park, and this is basically a very good area. Singapore has so many of these pockets of parks for walking, for cycling, even if you're in the middle of the city, even if you're in the middle of a very cosmopolitan, but at the same time, I would say they really promote a very healthy lifestyle here for the locals. So there we go. A good space for dogs to run.
Okay.
Singapore is a very expensive place to live. Housing, international schools, car, food cost, pretty much everything you need could be relatively expensive here. There you go. Look at this beautiful part of my hood. I remember during COVID, this whole space was full of people trying to get their exercise, but super social distance. You remember those days. Again, this is just a little park, and there's the high-rise condominium. People are going for a run. Kids are cycling to school. The sun is starting to come out. So if you're new to my channel, I'm a 6-month-old channel. I thought I'll chat with you while I'm going for a walk. And if there's any viewer here who's a fellow content creator, I have another playlist where I do weekly workshops for small channels like myself, where we basically talk about what worked for us, what didn't work for us. It's a workshop, so it's very informal, but also it's very informative at the same time. So I highly recommend you do check out the playlist. I will put it in the description, the link in the description and the community is starting to grow simply because I think the statistics says that morning. The statistics says that there's about how many hundred thousands of new content creators every single day all over the world. So everyone is trying to find their success on YouTube, and of course be able to pursue your passion, your desire to teach, desire to entertain. So it's 2025, and I think there's no other best time to start up a YouTube channel than now. So if you are a rising or an aspiring content creator like myself, please go and check the playlist. It's great. The workshop is great. I can only say that it's such a great avenue for content creators to connect, to learning things, practical ways, learning things from first-hand experience of a small content creator. So it's great. It's unique. It's not your typical heavily edited YouTube guru video. So don't expect that level of editing skills or flashiness, if you may. So here we go. I'm in the middle of the walkway or the park. So this is where the elderly people, the children, the baby, the dogs, this is like a little public park within my hood. You can see the sun is coming out. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably about 26 degrees right now, and humidity might be 70%, feels like 80% though. So beautiful day, Thursday morning in Singapore. I'm gonna get ready for live in an hour and 30 minutes. So I thought, go for a walk, clear your mind, and I've already prepared my materials for the live, so I just want to clear my mind and relax. So look at this beautiful tree. I don't know the total numbers, but Singapore has been planting trees since the beginning, since the birth of Singapore. So you can see how anywhere in Singapore you go, there's gonna be hundreds of trees everywhere, and they're constantly planting more. I love walking here in the morning because then you also get to see a lot of dogs and pet them and say hello. Always cheers me up to see dogs. Sun is coming out. So right there, right in the middle, is a German European school. German European International School. So a lot of students, a lot of local schools as well around the area. There we go. Now, the whole niche of my channel is basically to share my sales background, my sales training skills, and pretty much all the subtopics you could actually inform yourself more and develop more if you are actually a small business owner. If you're a salesperson, you're in sales, or you do 50% of your job involves a lot of cold calling, a lot of communication, a lot of contact your clients. The thing is, we are always selling. We really are. So it's either you're selling a product, you're selling an idea. And having said that, do check out my channel. I have a playlist, a lot of live stream, a lot of short videos, long videos that would really help you to pick up some new ideas. Although I know that there's hundreds of YouTube channel that you can find that do share the same format as I do in terms of topic. But what I've learned is every sales video I've watched, even though the topic you would think is identical, the truth is every single sales trainer has a different way of selling, different way of communicating. And so therefore, it wouldn't really hurt to watch as many sales training videos and pick up different perspective that would help you to gain more experience. I will be sharing the link again in the description. And this live stream of Walk With Me is simply just to have a very relaxed conversation with my viewers and have a little walk in Singapore. I know this is not the most fantastic tourist video or tour video, but like I said, there's plenty of those really good, highly edited, amazing videos about Singapore, so do check it out. Trees everywhere. So I'm gonna walk at the back of this park and show you a bit of a you see there's a lot of pockets of residential in between. It's either houses, it's either schools, it's either an old landed house or still an open space like this, or just a land, an empty land. So you can hear the birds. This is what I love about living in Singapore, because even if it's a city, it is still, there's a lot of nature. Time to time you'll see a bunch of monkeys or a snake or Komodo dragon. Those are the regular guys who just cross in the middle of the park. Especially monkeys. I don't see any monkeys right now, but one of the walks there will be like 20 or 30 of them, like a pack of monkeys, and they are all related to one another. Early morning they look for food. So here's the map, obviously, of the park. Morning. All right, so now, still right at the back of the park is this kind of residential area. There's a tennis court down there. So this is Singapore. You know, this is one of those residential areas in Singapore that I would say very prime location, very expensive. I mean, Singapore is very expensive overall, but someone's gonna go play tennis there. They do have a lot of community center here, or community club, where residents and foreigners like myself can go and play table tennis, and a lot of stuff. So this is a Typical old condominium or apartment. This is one of the oldest one. So it's just also super clean in Singapore. I remember when I first arrived in Singapore in early 2000 for work, I was like telling my boss, I want to stay here. I remember even back then, Singapore was already super clean and super safe. And 20 something years later that I'm here, or I'm still here, not much has changed. We maintain the level of cleanliness and safety and the quality of life. So yeah, this is your typical residential area in Singapore. And I'm gonna walk to the other side because if I turn to the, hold on, let me see. I think if I turn to the left, that might take me to the main road. Anyway, let's just walk. So what drove me to set up a YouTube channel? That would be a good topic to talk about right now. Perfect topic to talk about when I'm while walking with me. I think I'm also, it's a mixture of I didn't have any more desire to sit down in the office and work 9-to-5 job. I felt like I have a really good set of skills and experience and based on educational content. So I thought, look, why don't I just set up a YouTube channel and just see how it goes. And I know I will not run out of content because I have had 25 plus years of experience in my field, in my expertise. So if any of you are still contemplating at this point whether you want to do or you want to set up a YouTube channel for whatever niche you have, feel free to just give it a try, because you'll never really know if this is really something that would work for you, or if this is something that you're gonna love. I think YouTube content creating is a love it or hate it kind of thing. So this is another gate for that condo. It's huge. I think to rent an apartment here or a condominium would say about $5,000 for a I would say 3 to 4 bedroom. That's already considered cheap because it's quite an old rundown condominium. So now I want to show you quickly. This is very standard in Singapore. This is like a shelter. We call it the shelter. So the government has been really so good about building this shelter because it's everywhere. As you can see right there, there's another shelter. Pretty much every corner that you have to cross, there will be a shelter, and that is to cater to the pedestrians, because Singapore, we always have rainy days, like random rainy days. There would just be one massive shower, and the government did a wonderful job to build this shelter. Look, it's all the way to the end. It's never ending. There you go. So I'm gonna try to cross here because there's a bunch of people here. And look, there you go. The just now on the main road. There you go. These guys are, if you can see right there on the other side, that's again another entrance to another park. So we are surrounded by pockets and pockets of parks where we can go for a walk, cycle, and a lot of times a lot of kids are getting ready for school. So another bus stop. Anyways, on my next live stream I will be doing a little walk, but I'm gonna take you to the downtown area, and I'm gonna take you to the central area where you get to enjoy a little bit of other parts of Singapore. So this is the back of that condo that we saw earlier. As you can see, it's greenery everywhere. So anyways, I'll see you guys on the next walk with me. I hope you enjoyed the walk and the chat. Thanks for walking with me. I'll see you on the next one.